Hello everyone and welcome to DOTMOV, the show where we go through creepypastas so you don't have to. I'm here with graymads, of course, and another special guest with, Tony for you. So,
no, I'm excited to be here, guys. Thanks for having me. I wanted to do a ritual pasta because I talk about religion and stuff, like Lesser Key of Solomon and etc. When I was a kid, I read the Tulpa, and I remember being so scared. I couldn't sleep. I'm not even joking. Especially when this was accompanied by that, put it up on screen by the way, the documentary or the movie that was literally just like black and white footage of a woman like bugging out and bleeding everywhere. It was
Begotten?
Scary. Yeah, Begotten. Put Begotten on the screen. Oh, that was me on my Tulpa. Oh, I was really shitting myself.
Begotten is such a fucking boring piece of shit, but it's become so infamous because every creepypasta channel uses it.
Yeah, it's so scary. And
so fucking
now
scared.
I'm looking at it again. I'm honestly getting scared. I haven't even scrolled down to the video. Dude,
well, look at the tags. It's like deaths.
Death. People die.
Mental
unexplained.
Illness. Manifesting.
Manifesting. I do that every day. It's got 9.04 out of 10. 2.85
Oh, so this one is
thousand people.
Popular.
This is an all-timer, guys.
Hopefully it doesn't suck.
Right.
I'm gonna be reading today because I want to fully relive the magic. If I read this and I start laughing and I start thinking it's stupid, I will cry because it scared the shit out of me as a kid.
Please leave a like down below, guys, or else
Please.
Tony's gonna fucking break down.
Please, guys, please. Okay.
Tony's also a Tulpa. We summoned him earlier.
I'm going to manifest into your house and kill you if you don't like and subscribe.
I'm gonna manifest into your house and fuck your mother. Call me Ray William Johnson.
And if you're an adult, I'm gonna fuck you too.
And if you're not an adult, I'm gonna throw you back in the orphanage where you came from, bitch.
Facts. Okay, I'm gonna start reading. Estimated reading time 8 minutes, guys, so let's lock in. Cue spooky music. Last year I spent 6 months participating in what I was told was a psychological experiment. I found an ad in my local paper looking for imaginative people looking to make good money. And since it was the only ad that week that I was remotely qualified for, I gave them a call, and we arranged an interview. They told me that all I had to do was stay in a room, alone, with sensors attached to my head and read my brain activity, and while I was there, I would visualize a double of myself. They called it my Tulpa.
Hold on. What they're describing is literally that technology that WEF keeps trying to talk about where they can read your brainwaves and see what you're thinking. Have you seen those videos?
They have that right now.
That's literally what they're describing. I guess they're trying to make mega tulpas to take over the world.
By the way, already I'm hooked. It didn't take 20 minutes describing what the guy's name was, and
not even giving him a last name.
They didn't even give him a last name. He was just like, "Yo, what's up, guys? I went to do this thing," and it's like, "Yes, right."
I will say it's very comma filled already, though. I feel like there's already like a lot of these sentences kind of do these weird pauses in a way where they want it to be dramatic.
Yeah, but
lots of commas.
All of them that we've done have been like that, to be fair. I think it was just the style of the time.
It seemed easy enough, and I agreed to do it as soon as they told me how much I would be paid. And the next day, I began. They brought me to a simple room and gave me a bed, then attached sensors to my head and hooked them into a little black box on the table beside me. They talked me through the process of visualizing my double again, and explained that if I got bored or restless, instead of moving around, I should visualize my double moving around, or try to interact with him, and so on. The idea was to keep him with me the entire time I was in the room. I had trouble with it for the first few days. It was more controlled than any sort of daydreaming I'd done before. I'd imagine my double for a few minutes, then grow distracted. But by the 4th day, I could manage to keep him present for the entire 6 hours. They told me I was doing very well. The second week, they gave me a different room, with wall-mounted speakers. They told me they wanted to see if I could still keep the Tulpa with me in spite of distracting stimuli. The music was discordant, ugly and unsettling, and it made the process a little more difficult, but I managed nonetheless. The next week, they played even more unsettling music, punctuated with shrieks, feedback loops, what sounded like an old school modem dialing up, and guttural voices speaking some foreign language. I just laughed it off. I was a pro by then.
Okay, hold on.
They were just, like, acting
It literally just sounds like they're describing them listening to Skinny Puppy. Like you're just listening to like Skinny Puppy and getting tortured by the government while they try to create a Tulpa.
They like time traveled and got the money store and just started blasting that shit.
Yeah, they literally just started playing Death Grips, and he was like, "This is a discordant, strange stimuli."
Well, no. The reason I'm thinking Skinny Puppy is, do either of you know who Skinny Puppy is?
I've heard of them.
Kind of.
Yeah, so they're an 80s industrial band, and they're infamous because they sued the US government because they were using their music, which the way that guy's describing it sounds like how you would describe their music if you didn't like them, to torture to torture prisoners of war and interrogate people. They would blare their music at like ear-splitting volumes. So they sued the government for it, which is hilarious, and it literally sounds like that's what they're describing right there. You got fucking Nevik or Kevin Ogre in your ear just...
That sounds fucking awesome.
Oh, they're awesome. I love Skinny Puppy.
I actually like it, but it like the second week, he's like, all this shit's happening, and he's like, I just laughed it off, and they're like, for like 6 hours straight, and he's like, yeah, this is kind of weird.
That's what happens when you're a wagey, though. You just stop questioning things and just accept it. A paycheck's a paycheck.
True. If he's like, it's $10,000 and for 2 weeks.
He's less worried about the guy like speaking Hebrew at him and more like about the fucking bills he has to pay in like a week.
I can't wait to ride out this 10K for like a couple months. After about a month, I started to get bored. To liven things up, I started interacting with my doppelganger. We'd have conversations or play rock, paper, scissors. Or I'd imagine him juggling or breakdancing or whatever caught my fancy. I asked the researchers if my foolishness would adversely affect their study, but they encouraged me.
Okay.
played.
One second here.
Yeah.
How many people that were part of this project tried to fuck the Tulpa? Because I've read enough threads on X to know
absolutely.
that's what a lot of them want to do. So,
Well, you ever been on the X board? Like half of them are Tulpa, like trying to make Tulpa like sex toy people.
Awesome.
well, that also brings up a good question. So both of you are somewhat weeaboo-ish, right? Avid watchers of anime?
Kinda.
Yeah.
Casual?
Yeah.
So I have a question for you. One, do you think Naruto ever used Shadow Clone Jutsu and Sexy Jutsu at the same time? And if he did, is it gay?
Good question.
Is sucking your own dick gay?
That is a good question, but it's not even sucking your own dick. Well, I guess it would be, because, one of the clones is is a woman.
Yeah, it's creating a clone to suck you off. That's not gay.
There's nothing gay about sucking yourself off.
That's just unholy. That's diabolical is what it is, but it's not
It's like
gay.
a snake
the
like eating
demonic
its own
goon
tail.
sesh.
It is demonic in nature, frowns. So we played and communicated, and that was fun for a while. And then it got a little strange. I was telling him about my first date one day, and he corrected me. I'd said my date was wearing a yellow top, and he told me it was green. I thought about it for a second and realized he was right. It creeped me out, and after my shift that day, I talked to the researcher about it. You're using the thought form to access your subconscious, they explained. You knew on some level that you were wrong, and you subconsciously corrected yourself. What had been creepy was suddenly cool. I was talking to my subconscious. It took some practice, but I found that I could question my Tulpa and access all sorts of memories. I could make it quote whole pages of books I'd read once, years before, or things I was taught and immediately forgot in high school. It was awesome.
I'd be like a Marvel character. Like he's like, holy shit, I got like superpowers.
Yeah, this is awesome so far. But it also, like, to give it credit, it is inherently, like, creepy too. Like, imagine talking to, like, your soul that knows everything about you, and you're like, and at first you'd be like, so what did I fucking eat for breakfast 3 weeks ago? And they'd be like, fucking
Yeah,
eggs on
next thing you
toast.
know,
You'd be
you're
like,
asking
"Whoa."
it about what actually happened on that one summer vacation.
Yeah, and it's like, you secretly want to kill your mom. What?
I'd probably start asking it like future shit, like, oh, do you know what the president's gonna be in like 5 years, or what's like the like who wins the lottery, where the lottery numbers
Yeah,
for this day, that kind
but
of
to
thing.
bring
Would that be
back
something
the-
you would know, though?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Bringing back the whole AI thing, if people started trying to predict the future with these things and they're all based around their own internal memories and, thought processes, wouldn't that just do what AI does and start hallucinating the future?
Yeah, I would just be like, oh, I don't know, I'm you, dude.
Maybe, but if it's my soul or whatever I'm talking to, maybe it has like my full soul. Maybe it's like, I don't know. I try to push the limits to see like how far it could go.
You're why horror movies happen.
Yeah.
Cabin in the Woods
do you
type
want to
shit.
ask like your soul? Like, let's say like you have something where it's like a representation of you. You don't know what version of you it's like replicating though. Maybe it knows more than you do.
Well, how do I know it's actually my soul, though? So actually, this is something that, as a Christian, I've thought about, right? Because some sects of Christianity do believe in guardian angels, while others don't. And in that, when I was kind of researching that, because I was curious, right, like what the reasoning would be, or why that might be a thing, and why it's contentious and all that. One thing that I kept seeing people write about was you're not supposed to try and talk to your guardian angel. And if you do, and you try giving it a name, kind of like this concept here, another entity could pretend to be that, and then next thing you know, you're talking to a demon, you're talking to a spirit, or whatever you want to call it.
Sure. I just wonder if it would abide by time and space, and that's why I'm like, maybe I could like ask it like crazy questions it would know the answer to.
But yeah, in my head, I wouldn't trust it. Like, I would instantly be like, this ain't me, bro. I ain't dealing with this.
I don't know. Like, it is terrifying inherently. Could you imagine if you were like talking to your imaginary friend and you were like, so I went on a date with a girl, oh, she was wearing this beautiful red dress, and it was like, no. It would like, in what, I wonder what mannerisms it said. Was it like, oh no, it was actually green? Or was it like, no, you're wrong?
Well, yeah, would it communicate like a mirror of you and talk like you, or would it be more meticulous and processed?
Yeah, I guess it would be breakdancing, which would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. It's breakdancing as it just like tells you about all the horrible things that happened to you as a child that you forgot about.
Yeah, it's straight up doing like the breakdancing from the Olympics that got that Australian girl fucking doxxed.
It's teaching you how to Dougie while it tells you about your Uncle Alex.
It's just continuously doing the nay as it's like, oh, actually it was green. She's correcting you.
What if your Tulpa was just Soldier Boy?
Awesome. Dude, Soldier Boy, I love you. Download my new emulator.
Tulpa it'd be like automation. I would have these things like working in like the factories, like fucking like I'd have them like spinning shit.
I'd have mine help me with a podcast. Jamie, pull that up.
Jamie, correct me if I'm wrong, which I'm not. It could fact check you real time.
Well, that's the other thing, because we tell so many lies that we tend to forget what is and isn't real sometimes with like really small things that we say about ourselves and a daily thing. That's just a human thing inherently. So could you imagine not even realizing that what you're saying is some lie that you made up when you were like, I don't know, like 11 or 12, and it just straight up corrects you?
Yep, that's true. Would you have control over it, or would it correct you all the time and you'd be like, shut up, I'm trying to impress the hoes?
Yeah. Also, what happens if you're schizophrenic? Does it take your mind per se, or does it become one of the voices?
I think it's going to get to that point.
Okay, maybe we should continue.
That was around the time I started calling up my double outside of the research center. Not often at first, but I was so used to imagining him by now that it almost seemed odd not to see him. So whenever I was bored, I'd visualize my double. Eventually, I started doing it almost all the time. It was amusing to take him along like an invisible friend. I imagined him when I was hanging out with friends or visiting my mom. I even brought him along on a date once. I didn't need to speak aloud to him. Yeah. That's your two-man, is you.
You're like, you deadlock with him, bro. Like, he ran a crazy mid lane.
I didn't need to speak out loud to him, so I was able to carry out entire conversations with him when no one was the wiser.
He just has Ryuk following him.
That's awesome. This guy seems cool. Also, he had to say he went on a date. We get it. You get pussy, bro.
r/I'm getting laid.
Actually, yeah, I went on a date, my first date, and I went on another one too, so, I'm kind of cool.
Yeah, I kind of like slay pussy while you're at home on your computer. Fucking loser.
It's no big deal. And I'm a good son, and I visit my mom too.
That Tulpa money really just brings in the bitches.
Yeah, for real. He's spending 6 hours a day at a research institution imagining his invisible friend, and he's like, yeah, but I get bitches though. I'm not like a crazy person. I know that sounds strange, but it was fun. Not only was he a walking repository of everything I knew and everything I'd forgotten, but he also seemed more in touch with me than I did at times. He had an uncanny grasp of the minutia of body language that I didn't even realize I was picking up on. For example, I thought the date I brought him along on was going badly, but he pointed out how she was laughing a little too hard at my jokes. Yeah, we get it, you get pussy. And leaning towards me as I spoke. And a bunch of other subtle clues I wasn't consciously picking up on. I listened, and let's say that date went very well. Dude!
He literally is r/I get laid.
This guy is...
Okay,
let's just say the two-man work.
This guy has character at least. Let's give him that.
This has soul. This has soul.
Yeah, one thing though is, I was joking with the AI thing earlier, but unironically, do you think this is how people who are just kind of stupid and over-rely on things like ChatGPT and Claude really feel?
Yeah,
maybe.
I think so. Like Claude summarized this email.
Well, yeah, because the way they're describing it is the same way that, like, my fucking grandma one time decided to try and use ChatGPT and ask it questions. And it was the same thing where it's like, it knows so much and it even knows a little bit about me. And it's like, Grandma, you can't fall for that. Of course it's going to say things. It's built to say things to you that will make you feel like, oh, it's saying things about me that are really nice that I don't realize. That's the manipulation. Don't fall into it. That's kind of what this sounds like here, a little bit, which I find interesting.
I'm seeing parallels. By the time I'd been at the research center for 4 months, he was with me constantly. He was with my constantly, by the way. I just auto-corrected that in my head. The researchers approached me one day after my shift and asked me if I'd stopped visualizing him. I denied it, and they seemed pleased. I silently asked my double if he knew what prompted that, but he just shrugged it off. So did I. I withdrew a little from the world at that point. I was having trouble relating to people. It seemed to me that they were so confused and unsure of themselves, while I had a manifestation of myself to confer with. It made socializing awkward. Nobody else seemed aware of the reasons behind their actions, why some things made them mad and others made them laugh. They didn't know what moved them, but I did, or at least I could ask myself and get an answer. A friend confronted me one evening. He pounded at the door until I answered it, and came in fuming and swearing up a storm. "You haven't answered when I called you in fucking weeks, you dick," he yelled. "What's your fucking problem?" Dude, this is the first time it takes me out of the...
This feels like a vent post.
Yeah, this is taking me out of it a bit, because if you're an adult man, and if your friend...
What's your
if
fucking
your friend doesn't
problem,
respond
dude?
in a couple weeks, no one is going to say that. They're just going to be like, okay, whatever. I was about to apologize to him, and probably would have offered to hit the bars with him that night, but my tulpas...
We get it, you crush pussy, dude. We get it.
We could go to the club and get boxed together, but my tulpa grew suddenly furious. "Hit him," it said. Before I knew what I was doing, I had. I heard his nose break. He fell to the floor and came up swinging, and we beat each other up and down my apartment.
So is Tulpas just turning into Tyler Durden at this point?
This is when it gets scary. This is when I started poop. My pants were getting full as a kid. I was more furious then than I had ever been. And I was not merciful. I knocked him to the ground and gave him 2 savage kicks to the ribs, and that was when he fled, hunched over and sobbing. The police were by a few minutes later, but I told them he had been the instigator, and since he wasn't around to refute me, they let me off with a warning. My tulpa was grinning, and the entire time. We spent the night crowing about my victory and sneering over how badly I'd beaten my friend.
What a dickhead.
This guy's scary. He's becoming evil.
Oh, dude, I just totally beat
this
this.
Tulpa's real.
Dude, imagine your soul giving you a high five for.
No, you know what
fucking
this
kicking
is?
shit out of
This
your
is
boy.
the inner monologue of that dude from the clock strikes 12, midnight arrives.
Yes, dude.
This is that guy.
You're in pain. I can tell you what you're saying. It wasn't until the next morning when I was checking out my black eye and cut lip in the mirror that I remembered what had set me off. My double was the one who'd grown furious, not me. I'd been feeling guilty and a little ashamed, but he'd goaded me into a vicious fight with a concerned friend. He was present, of course, and knew my thoughts. You don't need him anymore. You don't need anyone else, he told me, and I felt my skin crawl.
Speaking of Dax, this is what was going on through his head while he was making those like Joker PS5 videos.
Bro.
I explained this all to the researchers who employed me, but they just laughed it off. You can't be scared of something that you're imagining, one told me. My double stood beside him and nodded his head, then smirked at me.
That's ableist because people have delusions and schizophrenia and social...
What researcher would say that, by the way? That is kind of insane.
That is insane.
I don't know. This psychological test is really getting me fucking scared.
Well, that was what I was going to say.
It's all in your head, bro.
If you've ever talked with a psychiatrist, which I imagine that they would be on staff for something like this, they would never be like, it's just in your head, bro. Don't worry about it.
It's all good, bro. Just
Hell
relax.
no.
Have a beer.
Instant restraint. Fucking throw it on the fucking table.
Bro.
We got backup. This guy's heavy.
It's all good, bro. Just relax. Have a beer. You'll be
It's all in your head, man. It's all in your head.
They should have said that to Elliot.
I don't believe he's going on dates. I think he's like manifesting like a woman.
He was doing that since day one, dude.
This is Randy Stairs interlong log.
I tried to take their words to heart, but over the next few days, I found myself growing more and more anxious around my Tulpa, and it seemed that he was changing. He looked taller and more menacing. His eyes twinkled with mischief, and I saw malice in his constant smile. No job was worth losing my mind over, I decided. If he was out of control, I'd put him down. I was so used to him at that point that visualizing him was an automatic process, so I started trying my damnedest not to visualize him. It took a few days, but it started to work somewhat. I could get rid of him for hours at a time, but every time he came back, he seemed worse. His skin seemed ashen, his teeth more pointed. He hissed and gibbered and threatened and swore. The discordant music I'd been listening to for months seemed to accompany him everywhere. Even when I was at home, I'd relax and slip up, no longer concentrating on not seeing him, and there he'd be, and that howling noise with him. I was still visiting the research center and spending my 6 hours there. I needed that money, and I thought they weren't aware that I was now actively not visualizing my Tulpa. I was wrong. After my shift one day, about 5.5 months in, two impressively men grabbed and restrained me. And
I bet he
someone
liked
in a
that,
lab
the way you
coat,
described them.
two
Maybe he
giant,
wasn't-
burly Dominican men grabbed
Maybe
me.
him like fucking in front of the Tulpa awakened something and playing inside of it.
Oh, that's true. He did fuck with the Tulpa there.
Yeah, I hate
Yeah.
pussy, actually. Where's Brad?
He goes, your dick is now soft. And it goes soft immediately. What? How'd you know?
Your Tulpa makes you gay.
No, no. It is evil. No. Two impressively large men grabbed me and restrained me, and someone in a lab coat jabbed a hypodermic needle into me. I woke up from my stupor back in the room, strapped into the bed, music blaring, with my doppelganger standing over me, cackling. He hardly looked human anymore. His features were twisted, his eyes were sunken in their sockets and filmed over like a corpse's. He was much taller than me, but hunched over. His hands were twisted and the fingernails were like talons. He was, in short, fucking terrifying. I tried to will him away, but I just couldn't seem to concentrate. He giggled and tapped the IV in my arm. I thrashed in my restraints as best I could, but could hardly move at all. They're pumping you full of the good shit, I think. How's the mind? All fuzzy? He leaned in closer.
Redditor. We get Marvel supervillain dialogue. The whole time I was sitting there like,
full of big drugs.
I was gonna say something dumb like, oh, he's
I don't
turning him into
feel
a
scared
juggalo.
by this at all. Like tulpas are, you can make them creepy, but so far this feels like a Sam Raimi like superhero origin story.
It does.
Really? I think it's awesome.
Well, here's my whole thing, right? I thought it was really good up until this part, because now it feels like we had this slow build up, and now it's just jumping way too fast. But it's not jumping fast in a way where it's like, oh, it's getting more fucked up and creepy. It's just kind of...
Is that the good stuff, man? You feeling fuzzy? Oh, I'm gonna
Yeah.
possess you. Ooh, I'm a demon. I'm gonna possess you.
I greatly would have preferred if it didn't speak at all.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
if it didn't say anything like that. Like if we never actually heard a quote from him, really. Aside from like the no, it was green, like that's fine. But this is like, what are you talking about?
This is some shit I say to my buddy after he drinks the soda I poured him, and I didn't tell him that there was ket in there.
Yeah. I put fentanyl in there. Ooh. What?
Oh.
He leaned closer and closer as he spoke. I gagged. His breath smelled like spoiled meat. I tried to focus, but couldn't banish him. The next few weeks were terrible. Every so often, someone in a doctor's coat would come in and inject me with something, or force feed me a pill. It kept me dizzy and unfocused, and sometimes left me hallucinating or delusional. My thought form was still present, constantly mocking. He interacted with, or perhaps caused, my delusions. I hallucinated that my mother was there, scolding me, and then he cut her throat, and her blood showered me. It was so real that I could taste it.
Was it hyper realistic,
doc-
or?
It was hyper-realistic, if you will.
It was hyper realistic. He started bleeding from his eyes and shit.
I don't know, I think this part's like sick.
It is sick. I'm just being a dick.
The thing fucking, the Tulpa fucking with him and like killing his family members like one by one. That's like super scary. Like he knows this is not real, but it's still like
It's
psychologically
scary
crazy.
in concept, but so far, like in terms of how it's being told, it feels more like an action movie than it does like a horror movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this went from Jacob's Ladder to Evil Dead real fast.
Yeah.
The doctors never spoke to me. I begged at times, screamed, hurled invectives, demanded answers. They never spoke to me. They may have talked to my Tulpa, my personal monster. I'm not sure. I was so doped and confused that it may have just been more delusion, but I remember them talking with him. I grew convinced that he was the real one, and I was the thought form. He encouraged that line of thought at times, mocked me at others. Another thing that I pray was a delusion. He could touch me. More than
Oh?
that, he could...
So he could fuck the Tulpa.
Theoretically, yeah. Or maybe the Tulpa would fuck him.
Yeah, probably.
He'd poke and prod at me if he felt I wasn't paying enough attention to him. Once he grabbed my testicles and squeezed.
Is this what it's like? I told him I loved him. Is this what it's like to be in a relationship with that one girl that pretends, oh, I'm a yandere. Oh, I'm a yandere. I'm the yandere GF. And instead, she's just this, an annoying fucking clingy bitch.
Wait, no fucking way.
I actually broke character. Because I was like really trying to be in like the Mr. Creepypasta shit. But when he said it grabbed my testicles and squeezed until I told him I loved him, that's some crazy shit.
This is some Sam Raimi demon type shit.
Let me suck your cock, pretty boy.
I'm gonna fuck you. And then the Tulpa fucked my ass, and it forced me to say I liked it, and then I was gay.
The Tulpa really is trying to make him gay.
Definitely. Say you love me and say you like men, big burly Dominican men. No, I don't.
No, I love pussy. r/I get laid. No.
I love a hot babes, Latinas and Japanese. I love them.
I know you're Reddit. I know everything about you.
I know you.
I know when you're on
r/.
r/traps, you little cock
You were
boy.
on the Goon Caves, weren't you? Jerking off with the homies, weren't you?
Okay. Okay, I think it's to get back to being scary and not gay.
All right,
Another
scary
time,
in 3, 2, 1.
Another time, he slashed my forearm with one of his talons. I still have a scar. Most days, I can convince myself that I injured myself, and just hallucinated that he was responsible. Most days. Then one day, while he was telling me a story about how he was going to gut everyone I loved, starting with my sister, He paused. A querulous look crossed his face, and reached out and touched my head, like my mother used to when I was feverish. He stayed still for a long moment and then smiled. "All thoughts are creative," he told me. Then he walked out of the door. 3 hours later, I was given an injection and passed out. I awoke unrestrained. Shaking, I made my way to the door and found it unlocked. I walked out into the empty hallway and then ran. I stumbled more than once, but I made it down the stairs and out into the lot behind the building. There I collapsed, weeping like a child. I knew I had to keep moving, but I couldn't manage it. I got home eventually. I don't remember how. I locked the door and shoved a dresser against it, took a long shower and slept for a day and a half. Nobody came for me in the night, and nobody came the next day. Or the one after that. It was over. I'd spent a week locked in the room, but it had felt like a century. I'd withdrawn so much from my life beforehand that nobody had even known I was missing. The police didn't find anything. The research center was empty when they searched it. The paper trail fell apart. The names I'd given them were aliases. Even the money I'd received was apparently untraceable. I recovered as much as one can. I don't leave the house much, and I have panic attacks when I do. I cry a lot. I don't sleep much, and my nightmares are terrible. It's over, I tell myself. I survived. I use the concentration those bastards taught me to convince myself. It works, sometimes. Not today, though. 3 days ago, I got a phone call from my mother. There's been a tragedy. My sister is the latest victim in a spree of killings, the police say. The perpetrator mugs his victims, then guts them. The funeral was this afternoon. It was a lovely service, it was as lovely a service as a funeral can be, I suppose. I was a little distracted, though. All I could hear was music coming from somewhat distant, discordant, unsettling stuff that sound like feedback and shrieking, and a modem dialing up. I hear it still, a little louder now.
This is just
There
a
it
Sam
is.
Raimi movie. This is just a Sam Raimi movie.
This was a Sam Raimi movie.
It wasn't-
It's good in the sense that it's well written and it's like fun, but I don't think it's scary. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have
Really?
any like fear factor to it to me.
I think it suffers from what Smile Dog suffers from, where it's like the idea is fantastic, but as it goes, it falls apart. So I thought that, honestly, everything it did, all jokes aside, was good. It should have been longer, more build-up, more interaction to kind of create that tension, so it feels more earned
Yeah.
once it goes full Evil Dead mode. Because, again, despite my jokes, I'm you can't see me, but I'm wearing an Evil Dead shirt right now. Like I
love Evil Dead, but
Yeah.
I don't think Evil Dead 2 is a scary movie. I think it's a funny movie.
Well, no, what I was going to say is again, because it started off very Jacob's Ladder-esque. And I think that if they played it more like... have you seen the 2013 reboot of Evil Dead?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one is kind of how I would handle this, where it starts off more serious, and once it gets more goofy, it's when the viscerality has already been introduced. So that way the humor adds to the viscerality versus takes away from it, because that's what I felt happened. Also, having him turn into a goblin man was also a little kind of just silly and cliche. I think if he looked
It
like
started
him...
acting like a deadite. Like it started grabbing his nuts and shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it was perfect. It was okay. So this story is literally perfect 80% of the time, until it gets to the point where the researchers drugged him and he spent a week there. If you just took that part out, I'm not even joking, and it was just like the Tulpa harassing him at his like during the research. I think how I would do it if it was just harassing him at night and outside of the research center. But in the research center, it was normal and nice. I think that could make it 10x scarier.
Yeah, because it would actually add that level of dichotomy that it needs to really shine, which is, plays into the whole Tulpa thing of dichotomy and the whole, I guess, to go all full white girl, the Gemini thing, the twins, which is, I think, where the whole Tulpa thing comes from. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I know it's like old voodoo shit, but I can agree with that. I think when it's doing things well, it does it well. But again, the Deadite type shit that it does really does kind of pull me out of it, because it just feels so jarring of a shift. and not jarring in the way that horror should be jarring. More so, it's like, okay, I want to laugh at this.
I think this is a fun one. Like, if I were to like be a director and I was like given like any like creepypasta to adapt, this one would be kind of up there. Like, this would be a really fun thing to adapt. Like, I'd go full like Sam Raimi with the latter half of this.
Yeah, and then you can also, if I think it would be really cool if they had went full Sam Raimi with it, but they also had kind of that Lynchian sort of like fucked up editing and, you know, like harsh noise kind of vibe. Because if they did that, then it would really play into the inconsistency of the mind, which is what this is essentially trying to get into. It starts off with the mind kind of going down, again, the Tyler Durden Fight Club route, before it reveals, like, oh, I'm a much more defined entity than you initially thought.
You guys suck.
Does that make
This
sense?
is the best thing ever.
Well, I guess for final thoughts here, Tony, I'm gonna just quote what I think you're gonna say, and you can tell me if I'm right. Yeah, this is like the greatest creepypasta ever, and like I want my balls twisted by my tulpa at night so I can have good dreams about big burly Dominican men.
That's not exactly how I would put it, but it's pretty close. It is. When he said the Tulpa pinched his nuts until it said it loved him, it was so funny. It was so good up until that point. I'm not even joking. I was like, this is as good as I remember.
It literally sounds like those stories of like, I dated a crazy lady and they grabbed my nuts and told me,
Tell me you love me. Tell me you'll never leave me. Tell me that you'll never look at another woman.
that's what it sounds like.
I mean, yeah, I think this is a diamond in the rough, with a chip in it. If you sanded her down, got rid of that whole like injection thing where he's like, your mother sucks cocks in hell type shit, it would have been a lot better. But yeah, I agree.
It's eons better than Eyeless Jack, that's for sure.
Yeah, this is good. I like this.
Yeah. We actually had some gems today in terms of the ones we read.